Right, you lot, and I look stupid, don't I? Well, about 2 weeks ago, I did a video about how useless of a coach Gareth Southgate is. How he doesn't have a clue what he's doing, and that England stand no chance in Euro 2024 because of his useless management. Well, he's in the final now. Now, you're probably expecting me to put my hands up and say, I'm sorry, Gareth. I was wrong, you were right. I don't know anything, but I'm not doing it because Southgate has more lives in this tournament than a cat. He's more lucky. And I don't know, he's got the most luck in the world. I should have to go the lottery numbers. Get him with me down the bookies. We could be billionaires overnight. Honestly, he must have some lucky dice or something. He must have some deal with the devil. I don't know what's going on, but he's in the final, and it has nothing to do with his tactics. Individual brilliance, time and time again. This was a guy who almost had his managerial career being in a bin after an embarrassing exit to Slovakia. Against all the odds, Bellingham scores a last-minute equaliser and they go through. A bicycle kick nonetheless. In the quarterfinals, it was a pretty frustrating game tactically for Southgate, where he clearly was watching the game slip away from him and was way too late with substitutes and was hanging on for dear life, only to luckily have a bunch of really quality penalty takers. Come on, Cole Palmer, Ivan Toney, Bukayo Saka, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Jude Bellingham. They were an obvious five if Kane couldn't take one. It's not some tactical brilliance that he just happened to have some great penalty takers for once, which is something England has severely lacked in previous tournaments. And then against the Netherlands, it was again a very even match where Ron Koeman took initiative, saw issue, and brought an extra midfielder, and England really struggled. They were gifted a penalty, and yes, it was gifted, I'm sorry. Only for Southgate to pick up obvious change of dropping Kane finally, putting Ollie Watkins on, and brilliant. Now, I'll give Southgate this. It was a very risky move to bring on Ollie Watkins and Cole Palmer. And it showed that he wanted to try and win the game in 90. And that he couldn't afford. And, there is some tactical ability in there. The way he handled the penalty shootout, his little buddy system going on. There's something there, but he makes mistakes. And I just hope he tactically does well tonight. I just hope he tries to attack. I don't want it to be David versus Goliath. I don't want it to be attacking team versus defending team, like your bloody cricket, the batting and the catching team. No. What I want is to take risks and go out there and try and play some good football. And if you lose, you lose. But go out there in spirit and make the country proud. Don't lose in embarrassing fashion. Don't lose not trying. And I think the 11 that he went with probably will be similar. I think that the rumours is Luke Shaw will get a start in the final, and to be honest, it's a risk. It is, because he's not played a competitive match since February. But if it doesn't work, you can always bring on Trippier. I think it's better to start Shaw in the early stages and it not work than to bring Shaw on late on in the game and he costs a goal that you don't have time to deal with. So, and I think Trippier's been so dire at left back throughout this tournament that you could do that. But we've got to talk about Spain, because Spain has been by far the best team, the standout team, the favourite from minute one. They absolutely trashed, Croatia to get here. And I think one thing I do kind of hate is the way that people are discrediting the opponents that England have taken on. But it is night and day when you look at the two opponents, where Spain have taken on the previous champion, a team that were in a World Cup final not recently and got third place in the next one. Yeah, Albania and Georgia were kind of freebies, but they were still difficult teams, and I'd argue that Georgia were probably better in this tournament than a team like Slovenia, who England couldn't break down. So, you know what I mean? And then they had to take on Germany, who were by far the favourites in this tournament in the beginning because of being the host nation, the way they started, and Spain had to dig in their hell. I'm sorry, it wasn't a pen. It was a natural position for Cucurella. Give up Germans. And the way you acted getting French, it was just embarrassing. So, and then to have to beat France, who I know weren't great in this tournament, but back-to-back finals and were so tricky, but he didn't concede a goal. And Yamal absolutely stunned them. Yamal and Nico Williams have been probably two of the stars. There's not been too many stars that really delivered. Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane, Lewandowski, Ronaldo. The big names at the tournament maybe haven't proved, but a lot of young players have really impressed. And I see people talking about this Euro isn't as good as others, but most Euros are like this. It's all nostalgia. Euro '96 wasn't that good. England's run wasn't that good, to be honest. Like, if you look at the actual games, it was tight and it was magical because England hadn't done it in 30 years, and that was morale. But if you actually look at the games, they weren't exciting. But no one remembers that. Everyone remembers, the thrilling, the penalty winning, and Gareth Southgate's miss, and all of that sort of stuff. You don't remember the boring, draw with Sweden or whatever it was. Like, that's the thing. Spain have been by far the better tournament team. They're the only team in Euros history to win all 6 matches without the need of a penalty shootout. And I don't think this will go to penalties. I think that one of these teams will win it in extra time. And my heart obviously says an England victory. An England penalty victory would be fantastic, especially with Bukayo Saka or Trent. Personally, for me, scoring the winner would be an absolute moment. But I can't see us getting past Spain, because I think Spain, the way they control midfield, and I think those holders, Mainu has been good, but how could he deal with Rodri? And I know United fans are going to start going, well, he dealt with him in the FA Cup final. That was a very different Rodri. That was they underestimate United. I don't think Spain are going to underestimate England. I just hope that Southgate takes some risks, because he took risks in previous games. He took the risk with Watkins and it paid off. He took off Kane, took off Foden. And I hope he does more risk taking. I hope he be more ambitious with what he's doing, and just, God forbid, don't bring players with 2 minutes to take a penalty. So my prediction is 2-1 Spain in extra time. I think England will start strong, maybe even score first, but I just think the quality and overall talent in Spain, I don't know how Yamal's going to be dealt with. I don't know how they're going to get control. Morata was the striker for Spain for this tournament, which I was quite happy about, but he's injured, so it might be even worse for sort of an England front. So I don't think Southgate should stay, even if he wins this tournament, personally, because I think all eras come to an end, and I think that the Southgate England project has been fantastic, but I think it's worn its course now. And people will say, oh, Southgate, he's the most successful England manager, apart from, of course, 66, but yes, but if he can't win, we need that manager who can take us to the next level. Southgate has done a fantastic job of bringing the morale back and bringing belief in the fan base that it's possible, and we actually go into a tournament now thinking that we can not only get out the group, but to go deep into the knockouts and even have a shot of winning. And it's been like that pretty much every tournament that Southgate has managed. And people argue that Southgate has had the best players, and he has, of course. He's had a fantastic squad, a way better squad than managers before him, like Hodgson, for example. But at the same time, Capello was a Champions League winning coach, and he had arguably better players than Southgate, and he couldn't deliver. So you can't discredit Southgate entirely, but his style of football, the way he plays, it's not attractive, it's not exciting. And I think that if he wins this tournament, it's a perfect ending for the Southgate regime, and bring in a new, different style coach. Don't go for Graham Potter. I would personally go back into the foreign market, and I know they tried the foreign coach before and it didn't work, but I just don't think they had the right profile. I don't get this obsession with, we need to have an English coach, because there's not a lot of good ones. Like, Eddie Howe's not leaving Newcastle, so it's not going to be him. Graham Potter, I think, is just a slightly better Southgate, and I don't really want that. And someone like Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard or Scott Parker, God forbid. So I think that the pool of English managers, which is why I think Southgate has kept the job, by the way, for as long as he has, and the FA has never thought about sacking him and will keep him, because who's the replacement? Because I'm someone who's Southgate out. I think a lot of England fans are Southgate out, but you ask for the replacement and they'll say someone like Graham Potter, who's just a sideways move. So, yeah. So my final prediction, Spain 2, England 1. Although I think Kobe Mainoo will have a very important game. And Anthony Gordon will not make an appearance. I know I'm going to get all three of those things right. If I had to go goals, I actually think Bukayo Saka will score first. I think that guy, yes him, Yamal will equalise. And I think someone like Ruiz or Rodri will score late on in extra time. It's kind of a scrappy from a corner goal, so that's my prediction. I'll see you lot soon.